The iPhone 17 Pro Max is here, and Apple is making some bold changes. But are they actually good changes? Well, let's talk about it. One of the most controversial updates is the design. This is the biggest redesign since the iPhone 11 Pro introduced its infamous camera bump. But instead of the usual square module, Apple has gone with a massive horizontal camera bar across the back. Sound familiar? Yeah, Google's Pixel phones did it first, and did it better. While the Pixel's camera bar looks clean and intentional, Apple's version seems distorted, like it went through a funhouse mirror and came out bloated and confused. It's so wide it might as well be a billboard screaming, "I take photos, please clap." And here's the strangest part. The middle section of the camera bar is completely empty. Apple could have used this space for something useful. A tiny display, extra sensors, maybe even a LiDAR scanner upgrade. But instead, it's just there. A whole lot of wasted potential. It honestly feels like someone at Apple forgot to finish the design. But let's talk about the camera hardware itself, because at least here, Apple is making some real improvements. All three lenses, wide, ultra-wide, and telephoto, now feature 48MP sensors. Previously, only the wide and ultra-wide cameras had 48MP, while the telephoto was stuck with just 12MP. That extra resolution should mean sharper zoom shots and better detail across all focal lengths. So, if you can get past the giant camera visor on the back, you're actually getting a solid upgrade in camera performance. Now, here's where things get really strange: the materials Apple is using. The iPhone 17 Pro Max ditches the titanium frame Apple hyped up last year and replaces it with an aluminum build. That's right, the same aluminum Apple moved away from when they introduced titanium, claiming it was a game-changer. They made it sound like titanium was forged in a volcano by Thor himself, and now, just a year later, they're saying, "Nah, let's go back to aluminum." What's next? A plastic frame made from recycled AirPods cases? This feels less like innovation and more like Apple doing a downgrade but trying to dress it up as an upgrade. And then there's the back panel, which is now half glass, half aluminum. Apple says this change is meant to improve durability, keeping the glass in the center for wireless charging while reinforcing the rest with aluminum to prevent cracks. In theory, that makes sense. In execution, not so much. Instead of looking sleek and premium, the back of the phone looks like it's awkwardly wearing oversized sunglasses indoors, trying to be stylish, but just coming off weird. It feels like Apple couldn't decide between aesthetics and practicality, so they just mashed them together and hoped for the best. But the result? A phone that doesn't fully commit to either. And if that wasn't enough, Apple is making the iPhone 17 Pro Max thicker, about 5% more than last year's model. Now, that might not sound like a huge difference, but in smartphone terms, it's the line between comfortably premium and why does my phone feel like a brick? But at least there's an upside to this. The extra thickness means Apple is finally giving us a bigger battery. The iPhone 16 Pro Max already had solid battery life, and with this improvement, it should get even better. Speaking of batteries, Apple is finally adding reverse wireless charging. Yes, the feature that's been available on Android phones since 2018 is only now making its way to the iPhone. It only took Apple 7 years to sit down in a meeting and go, maybe people would like to charge their AirPods on the back of their phone. On the display side, not much is changing. Same size, same panel. The only real difference? The dynamic island is getting smaller, but only on the Pro Max model. The regular Pro keeps the same size. Why? Well, because Apple. So, that's the iPhone 17 Pro Max. A new camera visor, a thicker body, aluminum instead of titanium, a smaller dynamic island, and some camera upgrades. I appreciate that Apple is shaking things up with the design, but man, this thing feels like a hot mess begging for a reality check. It's like Apple ran out of ideas and decided to cosplay as an Android phone, just with worse execution. But let's be real, no matter how weird it looks, people are still going to buy it. Apple could wrap an iPhone in duct tape, call it aerospace-grade adhesive technology, and it would still be the hottest gadget of the year. That's just how strong the brand loyalty is.